Hi, everyone. This is Empowering Democracy, and this is another Dump the Corruption show. Tonight, I'll cover the fundraising of Valerie Foushee of North Carolina, Ruben Gallego of Arizona, and Lois Frankel of Florida. I expect fairly soon to be joined by Dee Peers, part of the panel of people that I'm working with, and the co-host of Around the World with Brandy and Dee. With respect to Brandy, she is still sick with a variety of problems she's trying to work out, and we wish her well and hope that she can recover from those soon. And also, we were expecting Greg Mallard back tonight. I'm not expecting him right now, but I'm hoping that he might be ready for his own show at 10 p.m. But I don't know what's going to happen there as yet. In any case, I am ready to proceed, and I'm going to start with Ruben Gallego. Of course, the objective of all this is to handle the litmus test for all the folks. I see Steve Day is here. Hi, Steve. Kay Ryan is here. Hi, Kay. It's really nice to see you, as always. And Steve says, wish Ruben to pass the litmus test. I'm afraid I'm not sure that he's going to pass without actually looking at things first. I think that, of course, he's getting ready to run for the Senate. It's a very expensive race. And, of course, he's been working with the old system. So I don't know if he's going to pass the litmus test. We do know, though, that his opposition, specifically Kirsten Sinema, and whoever the Republicans put up, like maybe Carrie Lake or somebody like that, both of them are going to be as corrupt as can be, so they're not going to pass the litmus test either. Anyway, going on to Ruben, let's bring up the Open Secrets data. Let's see. Okay, Ruben Gallego has been serving in Congress as the incumbent, and he recently won again in 2022 in Arizona District 3. And here's the summary data. Ruben Gallego was the winner in 2022, running against Jeff Zink, who was the Republican. Ruben is in a very strong Democratic district, very blue. The Republicans made no serious effort to defeat him. He raised $2,896,212 and spent $2,236,608 and emerged from the race with cash on hand of $1,276,575. His opponent, Jeff Zink, raised $73,781, spent $54,678, ended up with cash on hand of $19,103, which is not really too much money if Jeff Zink wants to run for that seat again. Ruben will be preoccupied with his Senate race, of course. I don't know who'll be running in his place for Congress at that point. There wasn't much outside spending in this campaign. Ruben was supported by $4,468 in direct support of him. So let's look at candidates in the race more closely. Now this page shows the margin of victory for Ruben Gallego. It shows the fundraising again, of course. But Ruben got 77.0% of the vote in District 3, okay, in Arizona. We are now being joined most probably by D. Piers. And here she is.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dee.
Great to be here.
Okay, and once again, Dee is the co-host of Around the World with Branding and Dee, and my good friend, and I'm happy to welcome her to the show.
Oh, thank you, Joe. I'm happy to be here.
We are on Ruben Gallego. Okay, at this point, he's the first one I'm considering. He is running in Arizona, was running in Arizona District 3. As we know, he's announced that he's going to run for the Senate in 2024, but we're still going to do the litmus test on him and see where he stands. We're on the candidates page right now, so I'm going to go back to that. And you can see, Dee, from this that he raised $2,896,212, spent $2,236,608, and emerged from the campaign with $1,276,575 cash on hand. He got 77% of the vote, swamping his Republican rival. He also did this with respect to fundraising. The Republicans didn't support his rival very strongly. They didn't want to challenge Ruben in this race, which is a heavily Democratic district. Ruben raised $880,576 in small individual contributions of less than $200. That was 30.4% of what he raised, which is a fair amount of money from small donors. I kind of think he probably would have won that race in this district if he had just relied on small donors alone, but he did not. In large individual contributions, he got even more money, $1,158,874. That was about 40.01% of his fundraising. In PAC contributions, he got $856,325. That's a lot of PAC money. It was 29.57% of the money he raised. So he took a lot of PAC money. He got a lot of money from large individual contributors, typically rich people, as well. There was also candidate self-financing category here. He did not do any self-financing. There was also an other category. He received contributions of $437 outside of the main categories. His Republican opponent, Jeff Zink, got 23.0% of the votes. He raised $73,781, spent $54,678, ended with cash on hand of $19,103. Small individual contributions, $10,568, 14.32% of the vote. Large individual contributions, he did better, 22,714, 30.79% of the vote. From PACs, he got $500, which is 0.68% of the contributions. I keep saying of the vote, but these were percentages of the contributions that he got. Where did the rest of the money come from? Where did the biggest percentage of money come from? It came from his own candidate self-financing. He gave $40,000 to his own campaign, which was 54.21% of what he raised. So he really had no chance against Ruben from the financial point of view, and this was a solid blue district also. So I guess he decided to sacrifice himself and some of his money to put up a challenge. The Republicans didn't support him. As you can see from the statistics we have already gone over. Here are the top contributors for Ruben Gallego. APAC, $26,700. You kind of wonder, what was APAC doing in Arizona? What was the point of that in Arizona? Then there was Pro-Israel America PAC. They gave him $20,800. He got $15,600 from the National Association of Credit Unions, $15,000 from the Airline Pilots Association, $14,000 from General Atomics, $22,000 from General Dynamics, $12,000 from General Dynamics. Sorry, I misspoke. Francis and Sons McClintock LLC gave him $11,600. Cordoba Corp gave him $11,600. Raytheon gave him $10,145. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Union gave him $10,032. Honeywell International gave him $10,000. L3 Harris Technologies gave him $10,000. The Machinists Aerospace Workers Union gave him $10,000. The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union gave him $10,000. Poet LLC gave him $10,000. Pinnacle West Capital gave him $10,000. He had a lot of 10,000 contributions from all sorts of interests. I'm pretty confident to say contributions of that size did not serve to buy him. But let's look at some of the other analysis. Industries. What about the industries? Broken down that way, retired people gave him 137,620. That's where he got a lot of the individual contributions. Casinos and gambling, $116,300. Securities and investments, 109,224. Lawyers and law firms, 90,733. Real estate, 75,545. Lobbyists, 69,050. Health professionals, 58,263. The Democratic Liberal groups, 51,931. Pro-Israel, 50,500. From miscellaneous defense, he got 47,550. From electric utilities, 47,500. From nonprofit institutions, 45,855. Transportation unions, 45,500. Public sector unions, 45,000. Building trade unions, 43,000. Business services, 41,897. Defense aerospace, 37,500. Industrial unions, 35,180. Construction services, sorry, I scrolled down too fast for that. 33,477 for construction services, and miscellaneous finance, 30,600. So this funding was distributed across a number of industries. The most substantial were retired, casinos and gambling, and securities and investment. Those were the top three. If we look at it by sectors, we've got we have agribusiness, 27,800. Communications and electronics, 114,298. I'm not going to read all of these, just hit the high spots. Defense, 114,695. That's a fair amount from one sector. Energy and natural resources, 69,580. The fire sector, finance, insurance, and real estate, $299,004. Healthcare industry, 124,456. From lawyers and lobbyists, 159,783. For miscellaneous business, 220,402. That's like from small business. That is really an appreciable amount. From labor, 195,380. Ideology, single issue, 169,988. And from other sources, 225,969. That's a lot of money not being broken down in the report. But it does give us a better idea of what sectors were most important. Looking at PACs, we get a breakdown of business PACs, labor PACs, ideological PACs, and other. The business PACs gave him 568,350. Labor PACs, 199,500. And the ideological PACs, 91,912. Finally, there was a category of other PACs from which he got 10,000. Now, Jeff Zink's numbers on here are really pitiful. He got $600 only from PACs. So we have to say that with $568.4 thousand, that Ruben was certainly a Pac-Man coming from business or being supported by business PACs. But there was 199.5K from labor PACs as well, and 91.9K from ideological PACs. So he was definitely a Pac-Man. As we saw before, he got a lot of individual contributions, though, also. But a lot of those were from the rich. So he fails the litmus test in two respects. First of all, he took big money from PACs. And second of all, as we saw in relation to individual large contributions, he took a lot of that. So he took a lot of money from the PACs and a lot of money from the rich. That means he fails the litmus test.
Yes, he sure does.
Okay. It really shows he's pretty well ensconced in the network of PACs. He, takes from a number of them. He's obviously marketing to a number of them in fundraising. He's just an establishment character within the political system. He has some small contributions, as we saw when we went over the candidates. He raised $880,000 in small individual contributions, but in large individual contributions, he raised $1,158,874. And PACs were roughly his PAC money and his individual contributor money came to 70% of what he raised. But interestingly, he did do 880,576 from small contributors, leaving a question. If he hadn't taken the money from large individual contributors or from other PACs, in this race that he just ran, he had enough money to win anyway. It's hard to say whether his numbers would have been any lower if he hadn't taken the big money. Because the guy who was running against him, Jeff Zink, raised only very small money. I mean, 880,000 itself was, let's look at this, was more than 10 times what Jeff Zink raised. So he did not need the PAC money he took, at least not for this race. He did not need the large individual contributions that he took. We'll see what happens when he runs for the Senate. But for now, Ruben Gallego fails the litmus test. Next is North Carolina. This is the North Carolina 4th race. And we have Valerie Foushee, who is a new candidate running. But here's what she raised: $1,247,738. She spent $1,120,027. She came out of the race with $127,711 cash on hand. Her Republican opponent raised $374,635 and spent $374,635, and she ended with $0. There was a lot of outside spending from super PACs in this race, and 3,458,000 of that was spent on Valerie Foushee. So, to add to her own $1,247,000 that she raised, she got supported by outside spending, by super PACs, to the tune of $3,458,468. That was because she ran in a primary against a lady by the name of Nita Allen. Nita raised $343,641. So she was outraised by Valerie Foushee by 10 times, which is quite interesting. There were a number of other people who ran for the Republicans in the general election. One, Courtney Giles, was supported by outside money to the tune of $75,325. And then there were two other candidates who were supported almost nothing by the super PACs. So they were very active in this race. Altogether, super PACs accounted for almost $3.9 million in spending. Why spend so much on Valerie Foushee? Because Nita Allen was a real lefty, supporting Medicare for All and supporting the Green New Deal, and another candidate in support of Palestinian rights. The big money did not want to have Nita Allen win, so they threw their support behind Valerie Foushee, who was happy to take both PAC support and super PAC support and use that to win. Now, what if there had been a Dump the Corruption campaign trying to tie the money she got to corruption? I don't know. But I know that the presence of outside spending in this race made the whole thing very anti-democracy. I'm looking directly at the outside spending now. there was 6,926,936 in support, okay, of Valerie Foushee. 687,282 in support, okay, of Nita Allen. So Super PAC support was in favor of Valerie Foushee by 10-1. Courtney Giles, the Republican candidate, did get $150,650 of Super PAC support in support of her. David Price, another Democratic candidate, gained $16 in Super PAC money. And there was another $16 that was spent in opposition. That was spent in opposition to Alan Swain, who was another Republican candidate, and that was also $16. So let's look at who the Super PACs were. The Super PAC in support of the Republican candidate, Courtney Giles, was 72,000. The Care in Action PAC, Super PAC, don't know who were they supporting, but that was $1,964. The Democratic Majority for Israel, which is a carry committee. Carry committees can sometimes act as super PACs and sometimes make direct contributions to campaigns. They gave to Valerie Foushee $580,262 in support. Durham for All, that's a part of North Carolina, of course, Durham, North Carolina. A 501c3 gave 11,214, most probably to Valerie Foushee. Another one, which was NCAT, NCAAT in Action, gave 23,000. And I don't know whether those went to Valerie Foushee or to Nita Allen. The Protect Our Future PAC, which is a carry committee, okay, and in this case was the Sam Bankman-Fried PAC. That PAC gave $2,080,266 to Valerie Foushee because they were absolutely opposed to Nita Allen. So that's where a lot of the money in opposition to Nita Allen came from. The Republican Party of North Carolina threw in $78,650. Its PAC did, in favor of Courtney Giles. The Sierra Club gave $20 from its Super PAC. I don't know who that went to. The Sunrise PAC, which is a carry committee, gave $12,264. I don't know who. I would suspect it went to Nita Allen, but I don't know. The United Democracy Project, which is the Super PAC spawned from AIPAC. In other words, AIPAC spawned a Super PAC. The name of it was United Democracy Project, and they put in $4,256,380 in opposition to Nita Allen. A lot of money there. The Way to Lead PAC, which is also a carry committee, gave 79,120. Don't know who that was to. It could have been to either one of them. The Working Families Party, which is a carry committee, gave 559,280. I can't tell whether that went to Valerie Foushee or went to Nita Alem. That is not obvious to me. Okay, Nita Alem got, okay, Nita Alem got 687,282 in support from super PACs. That might have come, or most of it might have come from the Working Families Party that put in the 559,000. So that's my analysis on that one. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the contributors page. I'm not getting what I need from that page, so let me go back to, I mean, I'm getting specifics, but they don't tell me about the categories. The candidates page may give me that. So Foushee had 167,000 in small individual contributions, 838,554 in large individual contributions, and in PAC contributions, 247,375. So there it is. She took money from rich people, and she took considerable money from PAC contributions. Also, she got a huge amount of support from the super PACs. So she fails the litmus test on 3 counts. Courtney Giles, who got 33.0% of the vote, got 212,966 in large individual contributions. That's almost 57% of her contributions were large. So those are basically rich people contributions. Candidate self-financing, she raised 93,454. That was about 25% of her fundraising. In PAC contributions, she took PAC money, but not that much. It was $10,850 in PAC money. So she took a small amount of PAC money from rich people, a large amount of money from large individual contributors, a lot of money from self-financing, okay, which is also out of bounds if it's a substantial amount, like 93,000. And then, of course, there was all the super PAC money. So she fails the litmus test, okay, as well. Okay, let's see if we can get any more perspective on it here, though. Let me look at those tabs again. I'm going to look at the sectors. Her outstanding sectors were fire sector at just about $61,000. Audiology single issue sector, $564,593. There's a category of other that has $177,000 in it. I'd like to see a breakdown of that. And you saw what came from the super PACs to her. Let me look at the PAC page to see if that gives us any sort of impression. 59K from business PACs, 56.5K from labor PACs, 1,139,000.5K. I'm sorry, 139.5K from the audiological PACs. So that's the story for her. And once again, she fails the litmus test. Here we go now to Lois Frankel in Florida. I'm going to share that. So here's an incumbent, specifically Lois Frankel, from the Florida 22nd District. She had what might be a tough race. I haven't looked at the margin yet. She was running against a Republican by the name of Dan Franzese. And he outraised her by a goodly amount. He raised $1,595,963 to Lois's $1,265,333. Lois, however, outspent him. She spent $1,811,797. He spent $1,587,983. He ended with cash on hand of $7,981. she ended with cash on hand $645,707. So what happened in this race is that Lois went into it with a substantial war chest. She lost some of that war chest because it looks here like she spent $550,000 or so more than she raised. So her war chest was over $1 million going into this campaign. And she spent a lot from her war chest to win this race. There was some outside spending in support of Lois Frankel. There was $133,000 spent by carry groups or super PACs. Another Republican by the name of Rod, okay, I guess it's Donlass is his name. He got $48,980 from super PACs or carry committees. Dan Franzese got $24,000 spent in support of his campaign by super PACs or carry committees. And he also got I shouldn't say he got, but there was $9,421 spent in opposition to Dan Franzese by some outside group or carry committee. And the same was true of Deborah Adamy, who ran as a Republican. She got some super PAC and carry committee money spent against her, $8,671. Kind of interesting, I thought. Also, Ted Deutsch, who is a famous name on the Democratic side, or at least a well-known name, got $18 in support of his candidacy.
$18?
Yes, he did not do very well. He probably ran in the primary against Lois, who got $133,000 in super PAC or carry committee money on her side. Okay, let's see what else we can learn. We're going to get some financial breakdowns here. Dan Franzese got 44.9% of the vote. He did not win. Lois Frankel. Also Dan Franzese spent $1,368,060 in self-financing. That was just about 86% of what he raised. He raised $22,091 in small individual contributions, less than 200. And in large individual contributions, he raised $202,764. He didn't get much in PAC money, only $3,100, but he took some PAC money. So he fails the litmus test because a goodly percentage of his money came from large individual contributions, and he did take some amount, of PAC money. So Lois Frankel won with 55.1% of the vote. One of the reasons why she won is she spent more than he did. Her sources of funds, though, from small individual contributions, from regular people such as you and I mention you and I because she did send me a fundraiser, which of course I failed to respond to. But she raised from small individual contributions $44,696. It was 3.53% of what she raised overall. From large individual contributions, the well-off and rich, she raised $705,380. That was roughly 56% of what she raised. And from PACs, she raised $517,250. So right there, we see that she fails the litmus test because of the substantial PAC contributions and the substantial large contributions from individuals. She didn't do any self-financing. There's another category in which she was negative 1,994 in her fundraising. So we see here just from this that she fails the litmus test. But let's go a little further and for a minute take a look at her PAC money, since she took a lot of it, a decent amount of it. There's the business, labor, and ideological split. In PAC money, she got 222.3K in business PAC money. She got 180K in labor PAC money. And she got 111K in ideological PAC money. So that was the breakdown in PAC money. Yeah, that's a lot of PAC money. It's roughly about 540K in PAC money that she raised. Okay, looking at it from this perspective. So that's it for Lois Frankel. And I'm going to look at your comments now. Okay, along with D, and see how we're doing. D says
It's a quiet night tonight, Joe.
it was a quiet night in terms of comments too, I take it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was quiet with the comments.
Yeah, D. Kay said, "Where is everybody?"
It's a good question.
Well, Steve Day was here, and Kay was here, and you were here.
Well, on my show, Steve Wolfbrand had said goodnight, so he went to bed early, so.
Oh, I see.
Thank
That's
you.
why. Yeah, that's why Steve wasn't here. He probably suspected all three were gonna fail the litmus test because that's been the pattern so far. The people are embedded in the normal pattern of contributions, which by now means that PACs are going to have a larger role and rich people are going to have a large role. And now Valerie Foushee was interesting because in her campaign, there was the interference from the super PACs because they were so against the Nita Allen candidacy. So there were these huge sums of money that were contributed to get rid of Nita Allen because she was a supporter of Palestinian rights.
That's a shame.
It is. It is because she would have been a really good congressperson. And Valerie Foushee, you know this from other sources, okay, has revealed herself to be someone who can be easily bought. So from the dump the corruption idea, even though she just won, she should be on the way out. Valerie Foushee, that is. Okay. Did Greg announce whether he's going to have his program tonight?
No, he didn't. I know he said his dog, his Chihuahua, had a seizure, and I don't know anything more about that. So, I mean, he was talking about wanting to get back on again.
Yes. Yes, he has been saying that he wants to get back on for a couple of days now, at least.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll see him over the weekend or see him on Monday, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But for now, I think that that's all for tonight. Okay, unless you have something to add.
Basically, well, I know Kay subscribed to you, but I was going to say people who watch the show later on that if you haven't subscribed to Dr. Joseph Firestone, Empowering Democracy, please subscribe to his channel.
Right. And don't forget to subscribe to Around the World with Brandy and Dee.
Thank you.
Your subscriptions have been growing very fast lately, I notice. And also subscribe to Revolution Evolution, which is Gregory Mallett's program. And hopefully he will be back here next week. And he's been doing some excellent work on Dump the Corruption and also on some climate and environmental questions. And I'm sure that you'll be interested in those things as well. And you should then like, share, and subscribe to his videos also.
Yes.
So thank you all tonight. My weekend is coming up.
And I'll be having a show over the weekend like I usually do. Tomorrow's a Saturday night show at 8 o'clock, and we just pretty much chill out and talk.
Okay, that's probably going to be about what's going on in international relations, right?
Yes.
So I'm certainly going to sit in on that one. Is anybody else going to be available for that one? Is Madeline going to be available?
Um, we'll have to see who's going to be available.
Okay. Is there any news from Brandy except that she continues to have difficulties?
She's pretty much the doctor told her to rest, to try to take it easy, and we'll just see how that is. You know, it's just so hard because of the swapping with medications and what works, what
Yes.
doesn't work. It's just too much.
Yes, I know it's a nightmare.
Is there anyone to look in on her to see if she needs help with anything?
Her husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kay says, see you next week. Love you both. And we love you, Kay, as well.
That's true. Love seeing Kay's name there.
Yeah. Okay, so it has been a quiet night. And I must say, I'm not too sorry about that because it is the end of the week for me.
Yes, it is. Okay, and so what a week it was, right?
Yeah, it was a really interesting week. It continues to be interesting. We don't talk much about it, but the war in Ukraine continues to be very interesting in terms of the development. And, so maybe we'll talk some about that too tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so good night, Dee.
Yeah, good night, Joe. Good night, everybody.
And thank you for joining me.
Good night. Yes, good night, Bonnie.
Good night,
I
Vaughn.
couldn't think of your name for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, so good night. Good night. Good night. have to end the broadcast. Formally end the broadcast.